Bonjour, hi. Welcome back to another coffee talk. For those of you who are not familiar with coffee talks, it's a series I have on this channel where every Friday I sit down with a cup of coffee. I sip on it while I talk about different topics that have been on my mind for the past week. And this week is I was doing so good. This week is no exception. I also ran out of breath for a quick second here. Just want to quickly point out the fact that my hair looks the way that it looks. I'm at this weird in-between phase where it's not bangs anymore, but it's not a fringe either. So it's whatever this is. And as always, I start off these episodes with something completely random that has nothing to do with the actual topic of the day, but would it be a coffee talk if I didn't start that way? I don't think so. Today, we are talking about the art of being selfish. When I say the art of being selfish is actually knowing when to be selfish and why it's okay to be selfish from time to time. And okay, let's start off with that. I kind of see the whole being selfish thing as a way to prioritize yourself. So if I could rephrase it, it would be the art of prioritizing yourself, but I feel like it has a little more, it's more interesting to put it that way and say that. I would consider myself someone who's relatively selfish in different spheres of my life. I can be a little too selfish at times, and sometimes I can be too little selfish. Is that a thing? Or not selfish enough? Yeah, that makes more sense. Wow, it's one of those days where my thoughts are just... I apologize in advance. See, I don't even finish my sentences, so we're off to a good start. Unpopular opinion, I think it is important sometimes to be selfish in the sense of prioritizing yourself, putting yourself first, listening to yourself, and doing things for you and you only. There are too many times where I wasn't selfish enough and I wanted to please people and I wanted people to like me and to approve of whatever I was doing, and I was kind of losing myself in the process, you know? I was not being true to myself. I was not prioritizing my needs and my feelings. And those were times where I should have been selfish and I should have put my foot on the ground, stand my ground, if that's... I feel like sometimes I just make up expressions, so correct me. Feel free to correct me if I say things weirdly, but what I mean is just like, own your spot, be in your spot, and be selfish without being greedy, because those are two different things. But being selfish is important, and it's, in a way, it's a form of self-love, in my opinion, but you know. And don't get me wrong, I'm not telling you to be an asshole or to be a piece of shit and treat people badly. I'm just saying that you should be putting yourself first and then consider others. And yes, you might disappoint a few people here and there, you might irritate some people in the process, but ultimately it's for your own good. Because I hate to break it to you, but if you're not being selfish, somebody else will take your spot, and somebody else will be more selfish than you and will get there before you do. Because they were what? Selfish. Sometimes it can be hard to own up to your shit and to stand by what you said and to stand by your values and, again, for a lack of a better word, be selfish, especially if you're not used to doing that. But believe me, you'll get used to it and you'll actually see why it's relevant to do so in this world. And the more you grow and the more you develop as an individual, you'll realize that we're all... My point is, the only person that you're stuck with for the rest of your life until the day you die is yourself. So might as well put yourself first. And yes, sometimes that means that you're gonna have to be selfish. And I've spoken about something similar in another coffee talk where I talked about people pleasing and wanting other people's approval and how it wasn't necessarily for your own good, because ultimately the only person you should be concerned about pleasing is yourself. And it all comes down to what I've just said about being stuck with yourself for the rest of your life. And I'm using the word quote unquote stuck. And I don't think that's the proper word, because you shouldn't feel like you're stuck with yourself. And that's the whole point, because you're going through this journey for the rest of your life. You're always evolving, you're always growing. Your thoughts and opinions are going to evolve through the years. You're going to meet new people, you're going to lose other people, you're going to experience new things, and you're going to grieve, and you're going to love, and you're going to cry, you're going to hurt, you're going to be happy. You're going to go through life with all these emotions. Well, we're getting deep, okay, but that's it. That's the whole point. If you're living life for others, you're not actually living life, or you're not living your life, or the life that you should be living, you know? So think about that. And I wanted to speak from personal experience here, especially regarding the dating scene, because this is the place in my life where I feel like I'm lacking a lot of selfishness, because I want to please. And I'm going to be straight with you. I've been desperate in the past to find a partner, and it kind of at some point made me lose myself in relationships and in situationships, even where I wanted to be with that person so bad that I kind of, yeah, I said it, I lost myself. I didn't respect my values, and I just went on blindly. And I was not selfish enough in those past relationships. And personally, this is what I'm actually working on, and I'm trying to be more selfish when it comes to meeting new people. And I'm talking about the dating scene because, as I said, this is where I'm lacking the most selfishness, but it also reflects in all the new relationships that I'm building or that I'm cherishing. And again, I want to reiterate the fact that being selfish is not being an asshole. Sometimes it's just all about communicating your needs and communicating how you feel, and being heard, and working towards what you want. Because personally, in the past, I haven't been able to communicate my needs. Therefore, those needs were not being fulfilled. And so I was not happy. I was not pleased. And I was not selfish enough to actually take actions on that. So sometimes this is how being selfish looks. It should not turn you into this greedy piece of shit, but it should allow you to be actually more strong and powerful and just more affirmative. That's what it is ultimately. And I've had conversations with multiple people about this and how because I'm including myself in this, by the way, how we're sometimes afraid to speak our mind because we're afraid of how it's going to be perceived, or we're afraid of the other people's reaction, or we're afraid of just disappointing. But honestly, and I'm speaking from personal experience here, and I think that's somewhat valuable, sometimes speaking your mind is just so freeing, and it feels 10 times better than just holding it in and keeping this burden of the feeling. Just let go of your feelings, speak your mind. It's so freeing. And just that in itself is a little act of selfishness that will do you a lot of good. Wow, I didn't know where I was headed with that sentence, but here we are. And lastly, if that could reassure you in whatever way, just know that being selfish or prioritizing yourself or putting yourself first will give you this sense of empowerment and will make you feel more confident about yourself. And it's going to reflect in the way that you present yourself, in the way that people perceive you. So ultimately, it's a win. A win is a win. And on that note, I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I truly, truly, truly mean it. Hopefully, I have made a little difference in your day today. If you would like to make a difference in mine, you know what to do. And I'm going to wish you une bonne journée.